A Level Academy Islamabad. Liberalism. Introduction. Liberalism is a political ideology that focuses on individual rights, freedom, and equality. It suggests that government should protect that rights and promote the well-being of all citizens. Derivation of liberalism. The term liberalism comes from the Latin word liber, which means free. Definition by a famous political scientist, John Locke, a key figure in the development of liberalism, defined it as the belief in life, liberty, and property as fundamental rights that should be protected by government. Meaning of liberalism. Liberalism emphasizes the importance of individual freedom and equality under the law. It seeks to limit the power of government and promote the well-being of all citizens. Origin of liberalism. Liberalism emerged in the 17th and 18th century in response to authoritarian rule and the belief in the rights of individuals over the power of the state. Liberalism and government. Liberalism advocates for limited government, meaning that governments should have restrictions on their power and should primarily focus on promoting individual rights. Liberalism and natural rights. Liberalism believes in natural rights, which are rights that every person is born with and that cannot be taken away by government. These rights include life, liberty, and property. Characteristics of liberalism. Number 1. Individual rights. Liberals believe in the protection of individual rights. Number 2. Freedom. Liberals value freedom of speech, religion, and assembly. Number 3. Equality. Liberalism advocates for equal rights and opportunities for all individuals. Number 4. Limited government. Liberals believe that government should have limited powers. Number 5. Rule of law. Liberals support the idea that everyone, including the government officials, should follow the law. Types of liberalisms. Number 1. Classical liberalism. This form of liberalism emphasizes limited government, free markets, and individual freedom. It emerged in the 19th century and influenced many political movements, including the rise of capitalism. Number 2. Modern liberalism, also known as a social liberalism. This form of liberalism emerged in the 20th century and emphasizes a large role for government in addressing social and economic inequalities. Modern liberals support politics such as social welfare program and healthcare reforms. Core principles. Number 1. Individual rights. Liberals believe that every person has certain inherent rights that should not be violated, such as the right to life, liberty, and property. Number 2. Freedom. Liberals value freedom, including freedom of speech, religion, and assembly. They believe that individuals should be free to pursue their own goals and interests. Number 3. Equality. Liberals advocate for equality under the law and equal opportunity for all individuals, regardless of their background or circumstances. Number 4. Limited government. Liberals believe that governments should be limited in their powers and that their primary role should be to protect individuals' rights. Historical development. Origin. Liberalism emerged in the 17th and 18th centuries, particularly in Europe, as a response to the absolute monarchies and authoritarian role of the time. Enlightenment influence. Liberalism was heavily influenced by the Enlightenment, which emphasized reason, science, and individualism. Key thinkers. Important liberal thinkers include John Locke, who argued for natural rights, and John Stuart Mill, who advocated for individual freedom and the protection of minorities. Criticism of liberalism. Number 1. Critique of individualism. Some critics argued that liberalism focused on individual rights and freedom can lead to a lack of concern for the common goal and community. Number 2. Inequality. Critics also point out that liberalism, despite its emphasis on equality, has often failed to address deep-rooted inequalities in society, particularly in terms of wealth and power. Number 3. Environmental concerns. Critics argued that liberalism, focus on economic growth and individual freedom, has contributed to environmental degradations and climate changes. Conclusion. In conclusion, liberalism is a political ideology that emphasizes individual rights, freedom, and equality. It has played a significant role in shaping modern democratic societies and continues to be a key influence in political thoughts.